In our feature segment today, a Farm Week flashback from 9 years ago. Harris Barnes of Clarksdale, Mississippi spent more than 50 years as a farmer and an agricultural photojournalist. He had the rare opportunity to put together a collection of his life's memories and achievements in pictures. In 2002, he published his first book, Cotton, a 50-year pictorial history. Sadly, Barnes passed away at the age of 87, a little more than 3 years after this story first aired. He managed, however, to publish 2 more books before he died. Farm Week's Brian Utley reports.
Farmers are just good people, period, you know, salt of the earth, and they're not spoiled by too many riches.
Harris Barnes knows farmers. He knows agriculture, and in particular, he knows cotton.
Well, this certainly passes a test. My dad, who was the old county agent here for 33 years, you know, said that you got a good cotton crop when on the 4th of July you can't see a rabbit running across the field. So yes, this certainly meets those specs right there.
The 84-year-old Barnes has spent a lifetime immersed in agriculture, both as a farmer and as a photojournalist. He spends his time these days promoting his new book called Cotton at book signings like this one in Indianola. Barnes says cotton is a tribute to his lifelong love affair with a plant that has always been much more than a crop and more of a culture.
Yes, sir, it's a 50-year history of cotton from the hand-chopping days to the present.
Fresh out of the Marines in 1944, Harris returned from World War II to become the farm manager at Connell & Company Ball Plantation in Clarksdale. It was there that he picked up the skill of photography from Billy Connell, whom the book is dedicated to. During the late 40s and early 50s, Ball Plantation was on the cutting edge of farm technology, the first in the area to use a mechanical cotton picker and the first to use herbicides. Barnes soon found out, to his delight, that equipment companies and agricultural publications were willing to pay for his pictures of their advanced farm practices.
So I was amazed that some of them would give me $25 or $50 for a black and white print. I was, you might say, moonlighting on some of my jobs as farm managers because I was right in the thick of it, and every time I saw a good picture, I'd try to capture it. So thank the Lord I started saving pictures back in '46.
He not only takes good pictures, but he understands agriculture. He's done it all. He knows what we're trying to do, and he knows good farming when he sees it, and knows bad farming when he sees it. And I think his years as a farm manager and running a large operation really is the reason he can tell such a good story in his photography.
As his skill in photography developed, so did his hand in journalism. In the 1960s, Barnes began writing a column for Progressive Farmer, among other farm publications, which led to a successful career as a freelance agricultural photojournalist.
This is one of my favorites, too. This was on the cover of Progressive Farmer in about 1957 or 58, and it shows 3 heights of trailers, 3 colors of trailers, and 4 kids, all of them wearing 100% cotton.
When I first saw Mr. Barnes's book on cotton, it brought back feelings from when I was a little girl, jumping in a cotton trailer, things that are those memories that were captured in that book that I don't know where else they would be captured.
My wife used to call that a turnaround picture. I'd be driving down the highway and I'd see something that really strike me, and sometimes I'd meditate on it for 5 miles or something. I'd go back, I said, I gotta have that picture, and I'd turn around. And this is as pretty a cotton as you'll see right here. And I looked at this old house, and the sun was on it. The Lord was just beaming real good on it. I said, there's my book right there. That's the whole thing, the old and the new, because this is exactly, when I started farming, this is exactly the kind of houses and tenant families that we had. But this is the old and the new personified right here in this hill.
It's his experiences with old-time cotton production as well as modern ways and means that bring many area producers to call on his wealth of information. Johnny Larson says he thinks of Harris as a father figure, relying on his expert advice for many of his important farming decisions.
Harris Barnes just knows more about agriculture, certainly here in the Mid-South, than anyone I know. And he has such a broad range of knowledge. He knows all about mules, and now he knows all about 12-row equipment. And so he is the ace. He's the expert here.
In agriculture, like every other profession, whether it's communications or medicine or whatever it is, has had great advancements over the last 50 years, but I don't know of anything that's had more than the production of cotton.
This book captures an era that's gone, and that we are so lucky to have him still here telling us about it. A lot of the people who farmed remember it, but they can't express it, and they can't share that with them as well as Mr. Barnes has done. I think that's a treasure.
Who better to preserve history than Harris Barnes, not only the knowledgeable agricultural expert, but the one who has photographed agriculture all his life. And that book in particular is worth its weight in gold.
At 84, Harris Barnes says retiring is the last thing on his mind. In fact, he actually has a second book in the works that will feature a variety of other crops in addition to cotton. While his lifelong collection of pictures will find its way into the hands of many Southerners, the historical value of the book alone makes it a document worthy of every library and museum in Cotton Country. From Clarksdale, I'm Brian Utley reporting.
And you can watch this story on Harris Barnes again on our Farmweek website, our Facebook page, or YouTube. Our website address is farmweek.msucares.com. The last time I spoke with Mr. Barnes' son Dudley, he did have copies of all three books, but that may have changed. We will have Dudley's contact information on our Farmweek webpage and our Facebook page. But in case you just joined us, sadly, Mr. Barnes passed away in 2006. But he did publish 2 more books after Brian talked to him. So he did 3 books while he was in his 80s. I'll never do that. He was a graduate of Mississippi State University. He served in the Marine Corps Reserve for 37 years, retiring as a colonel. In 2006, he donated more than 80 boxes of his photos to Mississippi State's Charm Agricultural History Collection. His cotton book won the 2004 Merit of Award from the Mississippi Historical Society and the 2006 Mississippi Author Award from the Mississippi Library Association. He also served as the president of the American Soybean Association, and in 1967 Progressive Farmer magazine named him as its Man of the Year in service to Southern agriculture. So
a full life.
A full life, to say the least. And this is his American Beauty of Southern Agriculture. And he was the editor of Southeast Farm Press for a while, and so that he did a lot of traveling in the Southeast. So that's where a lot of these pictures come from that he did. You know, in that beautiful Kodachrome look, for those of us who remember Kodachrome, you get that nice warm colors out of there.